For nearly a decade, the narrative surrounding Tom Cruise and his youngest daughter, Sui, has been one of the most whispered about mysteries in Hollywood. While the Mission Impossible star continues to defy gravity in his blockbuster films, back on Earth, a very different story was unfolding in the quiet, tree-lined streets of New York City. Sui Cruise, now an adult, has spent her entire teenage years in deliberate obscurity, protected by a mother, Katie Holmes, who famously fought a high-stakes legal battle to escape the grip of Scientology. The world assumed Sui would simply fade into the background, a relic of a failed power couple marriage. But on the eve of her 18th birthday, a single, silent action spoke volumes. Sui didn't give a tell-all interview or post a viral TikTok. Instead, she did something far more devastating to her father's carefully controlled image. She officially and permanently changed her name, severing the final public tie to the Cruise legacy. To understand the magnitude of this shockwave, one must go back to the beginning of the end. The 2012 divorce between Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes was not just a celebrity breakup, it was an escape. Holmes, a former star of Dawson's Creek, executed a meticulous plan to flee what many insiders described as the controlling environment of the Church of Scientology. According to a 2012 report by Vanity Fair writer Maureen Orth, Holmes felt immense pressure to sever ties with her own family and abide by strict church mandates. The divorce settlement granted Holmes primary physical custody of Sui, then age 6, while Cruise agreed to pay $400,000 per year in child support, totaling roughly $4.8 million until Sui turned 18. The agreement included a telling detail. Cruise's visitation rights were virtually non-existent. For the last 12 years, multiple tabloids and reputable sources, including Us Weekly have confirmed that Tom did not see his daughter. He chose filming locations in London and his duties within the Sea Org, the church's inner sanctum, over a relationship with the girl he once famously cradled on red carpets. The silence from Sui's camp has been deafening until now. Recently, as she prepared to leave for college at Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh, a significant legal document surfaced. Reports from Page 6 and The Sun UK confirmed that Sui has begun using her mother's maiden name, Noel, in her professional and social circles. Friends have noted that she introduces herself as Sui Noel, dropping the Cruise entirely. This is not a teenage rebellion phase. It is a calculated legal and social declaration. In the world of high-profile estates, a name is currency. By rejecting the Cruise surname, Sui is signaling to the world, and more pointedly to her father, that she refuses to be a pawn in the public relations game that Tom Cruise has mastered for decades. The shockwave hit the fan community hard because it shatters the disconnected narrative. In Scientology, the practice of disconnection is common, where members are forced to cut ties with suppressive persons, usually family members who speak against the church. However, in this case, the disconnect seems to be flowing in the opposite direction. Lee Remini, a former high-ranking Scientologist and outspoken critic of the church, has long claimed on her podcast Scientology and the Aftermath that Tom was allowed to distance himself from Sui because she was not raised in the faith. Remini explained that in the church's view, a child raised by a suppressive parent, Holmes, is considered a threat to the clear state of a believer. While Cruise has never publicly acknowledged this, his absence from Sui's high school graduation in June 2024, where Katie was photographed beaming with pride, confirmed the distance. Tom was notably in London filming Mission Impossible 8, and then spotted at a Taylor Swift concert in London the same week, a choice that spoke louder than any press release. What makes Sui's breaking of the silence so shocking is the timing. By changing her name just as the child support payments ended, she has stripped Tom of his last financial tether to her life. Legally, he is off the hook for payments, but emotionally, Sui has declared herself debt-free. This is a masterclass in quiet power, learned directly from her mother. Katie Holmes spent years avoiding paparazzi, focusing on indie films and Broadway, and refusing to badmouth Tom publicly. That discipline has paid off in Sui, who, according to a source in People magazine, is incredibly grounded, smart, and knows exactly who she is. The source noted that Sui doesn't feel the need to speak badly about Tom because she doesn't think about him at all. She is her mom and her grandparents, and that is her family. The reaction from the Cruise camp has been, predictably, absolute silence. Tom's representatives have refused to comment on the name change, which is standard protocol for the notoriously litigious star who prefers to keep his private life under a cone of silence. But the inaction is an action in itself. For a man who controls every aspect of his public image, from his refusal to age to his insistence on performing his own stunts, the loss of his biological daughter's surname is a branding failure he cannot fix with a motorcycle jump or a PR stunt. It suggests a finality to the estrangement. While Tom remains close to his adopted children, Connor and Isabella, who are devout Scientologists, Suey represents the world he left behind, a world of Catholic school, ballet recitals, and non-scientific parenting. Social media erupted when the news of the name change broke. Fans pointed out the poetic justice of the situation. In the 2005 Oprah couch-jumping incident, Tom famously declared his love for Katie with manic energy, referring to Suey before she was even born. Yet, that same enthusiasm evaporated when Katie chose safety over subservience. Unlike other Hollywood estrangements where parents eventually reconcile at graduations or weddings, there appears to be no bridge left to cross here. Suey has built a wall, and she has chiseled her real name into the stone. Furthermore, the financial aspect cannot be ignored. The New York Post reported that while Tom Cruise's net worth hovers near $600 million, he fought to keep the child support standard and did not offer additional trust funds beyond the legal requirement. Holmes, who has a respectable net worth of $25 million earned through acting and directing, has ensured Suey wants for nothing without her father's money. Suey has been spotted using a vintage Coach bag and dressing in affordable, stylish streetwear rather than designer logos. This frugality in the face of immense wealth is another form of rebellion. She is telling the world that she does not need to cruise millions. She has a mother's work ethic. As Suey heads to college in Pennsylvania, she leaves behind the New York apartment where she grew up reading scripts with her mom. Insiders say she is interested in fashion design and psychology, hardly the action hero trajectory of her father. The shock the title implies is not that Suey screamed or cried. It is that she exuded a serene indifference. In an era where celebrity children often monetize their trauma through reality TV or podcasts, Suey Noel is choosing dignity and anonymity. She is leveraging the one thing Tom Cruise cannot buy, authenticity. In conclusion, the silence Suey broke was not literal. It was the silence of a surname. By dropping Cruise for Noel, she has written the final chapter of their public relationship. She has looked at the legacy of Top Gun *, the Church of Scientology, and the glitz of Hollywood, and she has shrugged. For Tom Cruise, a man who flies jets and hangs off the side of mountains to feel alive, the most dangerous stunt he will never conquer is walking down a regular street in Pittsburgh to buy his daughter a coffee. Suey has taken her power back not with a lawsuit, but with a name tag. And in doing so, she has shocked a world that forgot that the children of the stars are watching and they are taking notes.